Feel the abundance of energy in these locales. They tapped into and used these enhanced places where lines of energy joined forces, and there was a merging and meeting of dimensions and other worlds. If you never get to go to a sacred site, and you spend time only in your backyard, you are not going to miss out. The intent to open your memory banks and to activate collective memory, plus your exposure to the frequency of materials and artifacts from others who have been to these places, are all you need to experience your own awakening of the energies. Since the early 1980s, crop circles have become conspicuously abundant in and around the Wiltshire and Salisbury Plain areas of Great Britain, where numerous stone megalithic structures remain to this day. Mysterious markings appear as if by magic in the grain fields throughout the English countryside. They are synchronistically aligned to the sacred sites of Stonehenge, Avebury, and Silbury Hill, all widely recognized as places of celestial attunement. Part of the purpose of the glyphs is to pave the way for the mass consciousness to grasp what is inconceivable at the present time. You are not alone. The complexities of the markings will become more pronounced as the glyphs accelerate your awareness of other life forms. Ancient prophecies speak of signs upon earth and signs in the sky. There is a plan within a plan within a plan. There are friends in the sky and beyond, orchestrating layers of influence over and above what you can conceive of now. There are combinations of forces within the crop circles, and you will see them as light geometry dancing around in the air. The glyphs create shifts that will bring data to you. Then your challenge is to comprehend this new knowledge and to have your feet on the ground and your head at the top of the universe, all at the same time. Can you hold that imagery? You are vast, and you are capable of connecting with the deepest cosmos and grounding it into the earth. Geometry and mathematics, coupled with planetary and star knowledge, are the basis for the construction of dimensional doorways. Knossos on the island of Crete, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, the Acropolis, Delphi, Machu Picchu, Tiwanaku, and many others serve as doorways to other dimensions. These structures, built through the use of sacred geometry, totally confound present-day science. There is a mental distortion that prevents geometric structures from anchoring themselves more permanently on this plane of existence. Because your human capabilities are incomplete as linked through your DNA, you cannot mentally assist a structure in maintaining itself into being. All influences, both inner and outer, must be factored in. The elements of earth, air, fire, and water are as crucial to consider as the element of human thought. Geometry conveys its own teaching as it manifests into physical form. Shape and size radiate the essence of sacred geometry, creating knowledge transmitted from dimension to dimension. Perhaps you do not realize that you yourselves have different physical shapes. For example, dolphins are another version of humans. Dolphins exist not only in water, but on land and in the air. They exist in many dimensions at once. A joyous nature is one of their most outstanding characteristics. It arises from a very highly evolved consciousness that knows it is never destroyed. A consciousness that has a deep bonding with its human counterpart who has forgotten and believes that it is destroyed. Dolphins and whales are members of the family of light, and for eons they have carried frequencies from some of your ancient civilizations. The dolphins of your Atlantean culture were coded before the demise of that civilization and were given much information to retain and pass on genetically and telepathically. They are presently transmitting that information to the human species. Earth stores many remnants of civilizations, some of which spring from a point you would call the future. Your now can be seeded and influenced from many directions. Some of the so-called foundation stones of your current world beliefs are not remnants from the past. Distortions can be constructed in the future to plant in the now and appear as if they came from a point a long time ago. Planted artifacts can purposely divert you from understanding the identities of invisible rulers that you perhaps call gods. If you can reach the point of understanding that the material realm is a symbolic representation and not get lost in hoarding, then there are many magnificent artifacts that can reappear. Your planet has numerous changes to go through over the next 20 years, and these ancient artifacts, laden with coded knowledge, will begin to reemerge. At the end of these times, in December 2012, as decreed by the Mayan calendar, there will be an anchoring of many dimensions. This will reveal the mystery behind existence. It will be as if Earth suddenly blossoms overnight, even after some portions are seemingly destroyed. Tibetans understand many of Earth's cosmic keys. There is a portal in Tibet, a huge energetic opening. Portals are composed of corridors of time. The Tibetans, basically up until the 1950s, diligently maintained an energy doorway. Over hundreds of years, they have acted as guardians and emissaries for those who ventured through. The Tibetans have been working with extraterrestrials for eons. At one time, the region known as the Himalayas was at sea level. Under the mountains of Tibet, there are huge veins of gold and caves filled with crystals. There are artifacts stored there that indicate the ancientness of civilization. Included are many physical bodies that have been preserved. The Tibetans had a predilection for preservation just as the Egyptians did, only they had a different method involving gold. The Egyptians employed the mummification process, which involved memory from Atlantean times when people were rejuvenated and restored if their DNA was intact. Gold is part of what allows dimensional doorways to be opened. It anchors portals and brings about transmutation, and is reserved for more than costumes, crowns, masks, and jewelry. It holds the highest vibration and is a premier conductor of electrical current. When gold is stored or created in great abundance, light portals can be opened and access to other dimensions unfolds. Understanding the communication process, both inner and outer, is a key to a peaceful Earth. The inner you communicates continuously with a you that can be called your higher self or your inner teacher. It is a version of you invisible to your current perceptions, but nonetheless has a powerful influence. As your psychic awareness increases, it becomes easier to know what someone else is about because it is energized by their being. You are able to read energy as your communication skills expand to consider new ways in which to translate meaning. A form of communication that can free you from the traditional interpretations is toning, the process of allowing sound to move through you, playing you like an instrument. Toning is a key to releasing stored knowledge. It unlocks a doorway and allows information to flood into your body. In this age of information, you are steered away from the natural sources of gathering knowledge for yourself. You have been sold the idea that television is a great source of information. You damage your own consciousness and the potential that your consciousness has when you give over your time to television. You suppress your imagination and do not use one of the greatest gifts you possess. It will be understood centuries from now how in the later half of the 20th century people were induced into dazed states and made to behave, to be asleep, and to be sick through television. Reconsider what you've learned about life and choose to listen to nature's broadcast, the voice of Earth, as she speaks. You are on assignment throughout all of your days.